So Celeb Secrets is hanging out with Alli Webb today, author, co-founder of Drybar, entrepreneur. Super excited to talk to you because I feel like there's so much to unpack. Are you excited that the book is finally here for everyone to check out?
Yes, I'm so excited. It feels a bit surreal. It only launched, yesterday. So now it's like out in the world and people are posting about it, that they're reading it and they're listening to it because, I did an audio version of it as well. And it's just, it's a little like, what's the word? Scary that it's out there and that, people are going to start commenting on it. But so far, the people who read it early, it's been, people have told me they've finished it in like a day and I'm like, what? So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, totally. It's got to feel like a whole weight is lifted off your shoulders because you do detail a lot in this memoir.
I do. I go pretty deep. And, I think that's like, it's like my only speed, so I felt, really compelled to be as transparent as possible and to, give back to other entrepreneurs and women and, people who are in my shoes and going through whatever they're going through, kind of this comparison or juxtaposition to the success and then, things falling apart in the background and just, I just felt compelled to share that journey and to help other people, know that we're all going through that no matter what it looks like, on the Instagram highlight reel.
And it's crazy because someone so successful like you think that everything's perfect. Even like you said, Instagram is a highlight reel. And then you read the memoir and you know that it's not all pretty. What kind of motivated you to get through, what you were going through to make it to the other side to where you are now?
I think I'm really I'm really driven in general, but I think I'm like, like most of us, driven to like happiness and joy and, kind of always seeking that, and I do consider myself such a seeker. And through all, whether it was from a business perspective of building Drybar and learning how to make that company work and be successful, to like my own personal life of like trying to figure out marriages and children and all the things that are, the fabric of our lives. And for me, it's like, how do you get that right or good and happy and, choosing to kind of live your best life. And I think that's kind of always what I'm seeking. So, this book kind of details that whole process for me.
Absolutely. And what was kind of the hardest part that you had to get through when writing this book? Was there like a moment or something where you're like, I don't know if I could do this anymore, but I'm happy that I did?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there was a lot. I think I don't know if you've had a chance to get through the whole book, but every chapter has lessons at the end, and I felt like I kind of made that commitment to write my story. Here's what happened and here's what I learned from it, and I did have to like dig deep on some of those and be like, what did I learn again? And making, and really like, and that to me was like my, like, what am I trying to say? That was like my commitment, I think, to the reader and to the people who are, buying this book, who like, hey, here's what happened to me, but here's some really great takeaways for you. And then there's, the journaling section after each chapter too. So, and the question that really evokes, is a little provocative of like trying to get someone to go a little deeper themselves, So that process was painstaking, and then also writing about my son and that whole chapter about him and how that was obviously just a very difficult chapter in our lives. So to write about it was, brought up a lot of emotion, and it really wasn't that long ago. And then having my son read it and edit it, and my son coming back to me and telling me that I needed to edit it more and I sounded a little victim-y, and I was like, okay, I'll go back, and so that chapter probably was the most edited chapter of the book. So that was really, challenging. And then of course the afterword was pretty challenging as well. So there was a lot of, it's a pretty raw, like emotional book, but but I'm so proud of it because that's just who I am.
Yeah, no, as you should. And I mean, being a fan of Drybar myself, like I've gotten tons of blowouts from Drybar. You really changed the game when it comes to going to salons and getting blowouts. Maybe what was the most rewarding part of this journey that you could maybe detail?
Well, exactly what you said. You know, I didn't intend to change things up. You know, I didn't even realize that we were doing that until, you know, we started opening several stores. And I remember like hair salons being frustrated that we were coming to town because we were going to like take their blowout business, which I was like, no, we're not. You don't want to be doing blowouts. You guys want to be doing cut and colors. If anything, we're additive to your business because we're bringing so many women, you know, to the shopping center or whatever. Because there was a time when we were first starting Drybar that, you know, hair salons would block us from coming because they, you know, because the landlord would say we have a hair salon that, you know, we can't have two and whatever. And we're like, well, we're not a hair salon. We just do blowouts. And some salons were very, you know, intimidated by that. But then there were several salons, which to their credit, in my opinion, was really smart of them to have us come in because all we were doing was blowouts. So we were feeding, you know, them women who were coming in just for blowouts, but then also looking to get cut and color somewhere. And once they understood that it was really good for their business, you know, everybody kind of benefited from it. But I didn't realize like we were changing the game. I didn't realize it was going to become what it did. I mean, and once I realized that, then that was, you know, pretty amazing and just, you know, overwhelming and kind of intoxicating that we like, you know, added to an already multi-billion-dollar industry. So yeah, I feel really proud.
Oh, I mean, I'm so proud of you. It's so inspiring. Like being a female entrepreneur myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to take this all in. So you should be very proud of yourself, and you are inspiring so many people.
Thank you.